the second to the last day of our 2024 AVC Challenge Cup for Women on Pilipinas Live and on One Sports Plus. And once again, we are coming to you live from the Rizal Memorial Coliseum in Manila, the home of the national athletes of the Philippines, to feature India versus Indonesia. Two teams out of contention for the gold medal, but they are fighting for good positioning, good ranking in our FIVB. Well, one of these teams actually started off very strong in our tournament, and on the other hand, we do feature one of our youngest squads in our campaign. That is Indonesia, with an average age of 19, taking on India. Then later on, it's Iran versus Hong Kong, Vietnam versus Australia, and Kazakhstan versus Team Philippines to round up our quadruple header for today. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Denise Tan. And Denise, I mentioned these two teams are off of that gold medal hunt. But if you think about it, as they fight for their ranking, it's like they have their own Final Four picture.
Exactly. And you mentioned also a while ago, one of these two teams that are going to be playing is India, who was off to a really good start. They had their first two wins. That was against Iran, and then Chinese Taipei, unfortunately, losing to the Philippines, and then eventually Australia in their last game. So they are looking to bounce back, and bounce back strong against a young team in Indonesia. Now, Indonesia, of course, as we know, most of their players are in the Pro League. So the youngsters are here looking to make a name for themselves. They do have the potential, we can see that, but not quite there yet for Team Indonesia.
Right now, let's break down Team India. As you mentioned, they won their first two matches in our tournament. They had so much promise coming into the Final Four picture, but this team unfortunately lost to Team Philippines and Team Australia. What can you say about their performance so far?
Well, I mean, looking just at the lineup here for Team India, familiar names when you look at their lineup, but the thing that stands out to me is really their setter, number 7. It is Shajiji. She is the team captain. She is the setter. She has set the tone all throughout the tournament. When you look at the numbers of these Indian players all throughout the 4 games that they've had, you see the offensive balance within their team. So, again, offensively, they are there, but there are just a lot of mishaps that happens throughout the game. And that is the reason why they haven't been successful in the past 2 games.
They do have their top 3 scorers. Ansure has 55 points to her name. Radha has 49. And Surya has 48 as a middle blocker in this tournament. But on the other hand, for Team Indonesia, they are the second youngest team at 19 years of age in terms of their average. The youngest that we have is at 18 years of age. That is Chinese Taipei. But now, as we take a look at the team lineup, well, this team also has given us some promising names for our tournament.
Oh, yeah, definitely. One of those names is Junaida Santi, just 16 years old. She is considered to be the future of Indonesian volleyball. Another one there is the 21-year-old captain, Bella Sabrina Agustina, who is 21 years old, but she started playing for the Pro League in Indonesia, since she was also 16. So, again, when you look at Indonesia, this is such a young team, and the reason behind this roster is because a lot of their players back home chose to play in the Pro League.
Well, there you have it. You mentioned the name Sabrina, leading the way with 55 points for her squad. The second leading scorer is Santi with 51, and Putri Agustin is the third leading scorer with 30 points. Now let's talk about the middle blocker of the prior team, Surya. 13 points in their previous outing, and once upon a time, she had 8 blocks in one game. That was against Chinese Taipei.
And not only that, when you look at her offense efficiency, she actually scores around 53%. So she is somebody that you would call as a percentage spiker. She is a go-to player for Team India if ever it comes to those times that you have those misreceptions or misset. Surya is one player that you would want to get the ball to.
And on the other end, now we're going to talk about Junaida Santi of Team Indonesia. 51 points in total, the second leading scorer of their squad.
Again, Junaida Santi, just 16 years old. She will be turning 17, I believe, this August. So one of the younger players for Indonesia. There are 2 players who are just 16 years old on this roster. But Junaida also attacks at 53%. She's a two-way player. You can go to her when it comes to the offense and the defense. And with the defense, it's not just the net defense, but she can also guard the floor very well.
Good for her to have come alive in the previous game versus Vietnam after only totaling 27 points versus Hong Kong, Singapore, and Kazakhstan. Now we have our picture, their very own Final Four in the classification.
So you have Indonesia, India, Hong Kong, and Iran looking to get the best spot here in the Challenge Cup.
So the winner of this matchup will take on the winner of Hong Kong versus Iran, and then the loser will take on the loser of the other game that will happen.
Volleyball fans, welcome to the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, Manila, Philippines, as the AVC Challenge Cup 2024 Women's Division continues. This is match number 22 of the tournament, the classification match between the national teams of India and their opponents across the court, Indonesia. Introducing our two international referees in charge of match number 22. First referee, Hong Chi-yong from Hong Kong, China. And now let's meet the starters. First, for India. Outside spiker number 4, Shalini. Middle blocker number 5, Shilpa. Middle blocker number 6, Surya. Setter number 7, Jeannie, team captain. Opposite hitter number 11, Anaga. And outside spiker number 13, Anusri. Starting libero number 2 as Walti. Head coach for India is Jai Narai. Calling on the starters of Indonesia. Middle blocker number 2, Rara Tegariani. Opposite hitter number 4, Bella Agustina, team captain. Middle blocker number 6, Pani Chayaningtias. Outside spiker number 18, Putri Agustin. Outside spiker number 20, Junaida Santi. Setter number 22, Rara Rizkomora. Starting libero number 24, Hawa Nurputria. Head coach for Indonesia, Pedro Lillipali.
There are no signs of slowing down for Team India and Team Indonesia as they continue to deploy their big names, their usual starters. Top 3 scorers for each of our squads will be beginning this matchup inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Let's just do a roundup once more. It's Sabrina with Santi and Putri Agustin as the scorers, the top 3 at that for Indonesia. And then on the other end for India, it's Anusre at 55 points, Radha at 49, and Surya at 48 coming into our classification matches. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Denise Tan, and what a serve that was to begin our game in favor of Indonesia. They will have a free ball now as they send it on to the opposite, and that's a good drop by India.
Well, Anusri reading that very well. She knew the set was too near the net. Taking advantage of that. Easy point for India.
This has been a tall and athletic team, Denise, deployed by India in our tournament. And this is a country that has always been up there in terms of Southeast Asian volleyball.
Well, but when you look at the average height, though, between India and Indonesia, these two teams are pretty much match. 176 centimeters for India, that's around 5'9", 175 for Indonesia. About the same height, 5'8" and a half. So it's really, I think it will all boil down to the speed and the plays that they will be able to run in this match.
Oh, misreceived by Santi. And here's Sabrina going cross court. That's dug up by India. They will send it to the open, straight onto the back row. Good chance on the other end. Sabrina once again. She got a hand. Jeannie recalculates. Back onto the left pin. Blocked. Coverage present. Good effort by the libero of India. Chance on the other end. It's Rara from the middle and she scores.
Rara hammering it through. there was a huge gap between the blockers and the net, so control wasn't there for the block of India.
We're back with Indonesia with a serve. 1-1 is the tally. Ball up for India. They send it to the middle, but the attack sails wide. That was Surya, unable to score for Team India. Had 13 points in the previous outing. That painful loss versus Australia that got them out of the hunt for the gold medal in our tournament. Now it's a service ace for Indonesia.
That's 3 consecutive points right now for Indonesia.
Courtesy of Putri Agustin. Had her best game versus Singapore with 11 points. That's the only game when she reached double figures. Jeannie back sets onto the opposite this time. Down the line target for Anusrey.
Anusrey avoiding 2 blockers there. Going down the line still, challenging the defense of Hawa.
The effort was there by the libero. She wasn't able to keep it alive. That was Hawa Nur Fitria, libero of Indonesia. Now Anusrey will serve for India. She sends that ball in. An opposite hit for Sabrina, and she will score off of that cross-court hit.
Sabrina with a smart hit, trying to go long there, seeing the defense a step too near the net. Zone 1 was not covered for India.
She's not the tallest of spikers, right, Denise? Talking about Sabrina. She definitely has the skill. Back row hit. A nice trajectory right there for Indonesia.
Hidayanti, excuse me. Again, going for that donut hole. That gap in the middle of the floor defense.
Another point for Team Indonesia. They have 5 onto their tally against the 2 of India. Off-speed hit. Santi from the left. Dug up by the blue shirts. They push to the left. Blocked. Coverage present once again. And there's the attack from the middle.
Surya this time cutting the lead once again. So this is what India needs to do here. We started off the match with Indonesia having a 3-0 run and then a 2-0 run after India getting their second point. So they have to rack up those points, and they are doing that right now. Taking care of that middle block again. Surya was there.
A monster block for Team India. It seems like it's their other middle blocker in Shilpa who got the honors for them. Putri Agustin receives an attack from the middle. Got a deflection and a miscue on the end of India.
A lot of miscommunication happening on the side of India. Could have kept that ball alive, but there was confusion as to who is going to get the second ball. Usually that is the setter, but we don't know why she didn't get it.
So now let's continue. Attack from the open, deflection. Here's the counter for Indonesia.
Ooh.
Santi. Ball returned, joust at the net. And it's Indonesia that will prevail.
Santi was so dominant at that net. You see her taking off even before going for that attack. You knew it was going to be a powerful one, and then she stayed there right after going for the net defense. Again, a two-way player. Itong Junaida Santi.
Santi had 24 points in the previous outing as he broke down in our pre-game. Is that a check ball? Apparently not. Bit of a flat start here for Team India. Down by 4 points. Team captain Bella Sabrina Agustina now serves that ball inside. Push onto the left, down the line target. Zone 1 was open. Here comes the boom. Music triggered once more with that attack by Shaalini. It's now 5 serving 8. Santi. Libero with a dig. Back row hit on the other end. And a possible counter for Indonesia. Red play. Nice rally. Again on the pipe off speed. That was short.
Unusual decision there by that was Anusri. They don't usually go for an off-speed hit coming from the pipe, especially with 2 blockers in front of you.
That makes the score now at 9-5. Genie onto the middle. And that would be the answer for Team India. That was Shilpa getting the point for the blue shirts. Can they get things going? Can they build on with some momentum that they have off of that point? Slide on the other end.
Nice.
This will blow net touch. Have you been seeing good activation with the middle blocker so far in this game?
Actually, no. I haven't seen a lot of combination plays, but when you look at the side of Indonesia, though, you see them trying to, again, create that offensive balance by going to their wing spikers.
That's one of their wing spikers. Sabrina scoring once more. It's a back row play for their team captain, Sabrina Agustina. And showing us her scoring prowess here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Genie,
Nice.
1-2.
Saw the opportunity there. The first ball had good speed, good height, and there was no blocker for the team captain, Genie.
Too easy. You can see the defense very much surprised with that move. And at the net, that was an easy ball for India. There was a net touch as well.
That was on Riz Camara.
So now India's piling up the points. They're down by 3, 8 serving 11. Shilpa, sharp serve, over receive. And an easy ball again for the blue shirts. That will give us our first timeout in this game. It is 9-11.
Skornya itu ngasih ke dia. Nah, itu yang pertama ya, kurangin kesalahan. Terus yang kedua, blok-bloknya tunggu lagi, samping-sampingnya. Samping-sampingnya tunggu. Biar dia cross, tapi gantian yang di belakang. Ya, oke, di posisi 4 maupun di posisi 2. Ya, oke yuk, yuk, bisa yuk. Indonesia, jaya! Yuk, bisa yuk.
So this is a mini run for India, Denise. What have they been doing right in the last couple of sequences?
Well, they have been taking advantage of those over receptions coming from Indonesia. They also have been picking their spots. You also saw Genie attacking on her own, so just creating opportunities for themselves.
So is this already the time wherein they have gotten their groove? As Genie again chooses the middle. Good net defense by Indonesia, but that wasn't the best of counters. On the other end, an attack from the open, and that drops for India.
This is the biggest run for India, 4 consecutive points.
That was Anusri scoring again. On the left pin, 2 blockers, no problem. But the timing wasn't the best for the white shirts. Service inside. Can Indonesia respond? Not yet. Good chance on the other end. Genie onto the middle. Yes! Deadlock at 11. Surya able to score. Just a matter of time for Team India. This is a free ball. Once again, onto the left. Yes! Momentum for India. Anushree with another point to her name. Straight on to zone number 1. It is 12-11. The blue shirts now have the advantage. Puti Agustin is blocked.
Soria just present all the time for that net defense, and Indonesia here caught standing on the D.
So it's a 6-point swing, more or less, already for India in this game. Everything working for them, including the serves. Before this game, Denise, I was actually concerned about the morale of Team India because they did lose their last 2 outings after having a great shot at that gold medal at the start of this tournament. As now, the attack sails long and wide for Agustin. Did you actually feel some of that early in this game in terms of the morale, a bit of a drop-off for India?
Not necessarily, because again, they did get the first point. Indonesia answered back with 3 consecutive points, but it has been a seesaw battle, and right now Indonesia is the one racking up the points. I believe the biggest run is around 4 or 5 points for India.
15-11 now. That's a substitution made by Indonesia, and so far it's worth it as Gendis was able to score. That's Azara Gendis. Oversee. Good effort by the libero of India. They send it back to the left. Another point for their open spiker.
Anushree keeps going to that right side, and Indonesia keeps letting it go. How many times have we seen that? Just one of her favorite angles.
It's right by the line for Anushree. They continue with their momentum. 16 serving 12. From the middle, Rara couldn't score. And here's the counter. Back set. Off the block, Anaga will score. There was a misread by our announcer. That's why there was a bit of a surprise from our players. That was Anaga who got the point for India. And now it's an ace. It's the setter of Team India getting the point from the service line. This should be their favorite part of their rotation. Sabrina off the block. There you go, good challenge by the team captain of Indonesia. Now this is a bit of a mountain to climb for them, down by 6. Jeannie back sets, good approach. That's dug up by Indonesia. Santi to counter, great elevation.
And Santi not afraid to go cross-court, challenging the middle blocker there for India. She does have the hops.
Very animated at that. I won't be surprised if she is an absolute fan favorite back in her hometown. India unable to score. Santi again. Coverage present, but the second ball was a bit too late. Now India's net defense is coming alive in set number 1. Anushree at the service line, 19-14. Sabrina, Anushree keeping it alive. Jeannie, back to her star, a tip. Scramble forced. And this is a chance ball. A lot of time for the setter. Jeannie, back set. Ooh, was that out?
Yep, this is not cross antenna, I believe.
Indonesia will be calling its second timeout, down by 6 points.
minum. Coba yang lain bantu cari minum ya. Gini loh. Kalau bolanya root, kamu pukul 1, gampang tas bolnya, ya gampang poinnya. Tapi kalau bola nggak nyampe, cross tajam, ya itu yang pertama. Yang kedua asal naik aja servisnya, receive-nya, ya receive-nya naik. Terus defense naik juga, jangan saya lagi dapat. Ya bisa yuk masih yuk, yuk.
Well, obviously, there is a language barrier for us because we are covering different nationalities here in the AVC Challenge Cup. But one of the things that makes it interesting is for us as anchors, trying to know what you guys understood in those huddles.
Well,
did you actually pick up anything?
Well, Coach Lilipali made it quite easy for us because of the gestures. Talking about, I believe he was talking about the reception because he was making that move. But what I love about Coach Lilipali though is every time I do see him or hear him from a timeout, he consistently says this word, ayo, ayo. And somebody taught me last week that ayo is familiar to let's go or come on.
All right.
So really encouraging his players, even if they're up, even if they're trailing, it's one of the lines that I consistently hear from him.
Ayo, ayo. I'll watch out for that later on in their next timeouts. We did see a service ace off of that timeout, but now Indonesia is able to get the point. So they will have the serve at 15-21 in set number 1. Rada doing the honors, straight to the libero.
Oh, nice.
And it's an attack from the middle for India.
And you see Jeannie attracting that wing blocker. Because of what she did, that 1-2 attack in the middle of the set, the blockers now think that she will always be an option for an attack, freeing up the middle blocker or the middle attacker there.
It's all day for Surya, who got that easy point. But now she serves. Received by Santi, will now approach. Blocked. Coverage present by Agustin. And here's Sabrina, blocked again, but she will score. How about the net defense of India?
I believe they're doing very well. They did get a lot of points. You see the middle blocker as well. That is Shilpa going on all sides of that net.
She was present there as the attack was low for Sabrina. Seven-point advantage. Very comfortable cushion for Team India. We have Radha now serving. The second leading scorer in this tournament. The target was Santi. This is a free ball. Jeannie onto the middle. Another point for Team India.
And Shilpa using her hang time a bit, going for an angle too, seeing that the middle blocker or the support blocker was late for Indonesia. Because I think one blocker was in front of her, the other one was late, so going for that cut towards her left side.
We are now at set point for Team India. And that was outside for Sabrina, so we're done with set number 1. A swing it was for India, down by around 4 to 5 points early in the set, and they win it almost in double figures, 25-16. This was the last error by the team for India versus Indonesia in their classification match. What a comeback that was for India in set number 1. How did they turn things around?
Well, first off, they cleaned up their act. It was Indonesia that was having those mini runs at the start of the first set. But then at the 7-point mark, it was when India started getting, I think, 4, 5, even 6 consecutive points to really turn the tables around. They were also not just doing that from their offense, but they were defending the net. They had 2 blocks compared to none for Indonesia. They were also attacking from the service line. They had 3 service aces in that first set. And just a comparison, against Australia, they only had 3 aces all throughout the 4 sets. So if that's any indication, they are doing much, much better in this game against Indonesia. When it comes to the errors, both teams could definitely polish up their game here, both having 4 errors each. Overall, just everything working better on the side of India.
Let's see if that set number 1 has warmed them up for our quadruple header in another outing for your AVC Challenge Cup. Indonesia comes in with a record of 1 win and 3 losses. They only won versus Singapore in straight sets, but they lost to Hong Kong, Kazakhstan, and Vietnam respectively. On the other end, for Team India, they won in their first 2 games versus Iran and Chinese Taipei, both in 3 sets. And then they lost in 4 sets to Team Philippines and Australia, the 2 teams who qualified from their pool onto their own Final Four. The semifinals action later on, beginning at 4 p.m. It's Vietnam versus Australia, and then Team Philippines will take on Kazakhstan. But for this matchup, India versus Indonesia, the winner will take on the winner between Hong Kong and Iran. And then, of course, the team that will lose will also take on the loser in our next game. You always say this, Denise, if you're a team about to exit the tournament, why not go out with a bang?
Oh yeah, and you wouldn't want to go home, knowing that you didn't really get as much wins or as much sets that you can get, especially if you're a team that's just committing a lot of errors here, because that's something off you're doing. And so for Indonesia, that's a better start for them here in the second set.
It was a slide attack by Rara for their first point. But consistency will be a big theme for them. You did mention the 7-point mark. That's when things started going for India in set number 1. Misreceived. And here's a chance ball for Indonesia. They send it back to their captain.
And you see Indonesia now starting off with an attack in the middle, something that was lacking in the first frame.
It's 2-0 in set number 2 in favor of Indonesia. Now we have Rara doing the honors. Not the best of receives. Anaga sending it through. A good chance once again for the white shirts. Onto the left. There's the elevation once more by the high flyer of Indonesia. And here's the counter for India. Their first point in the set. Anusri activated once more, getting a good angle against 2 blockers. Now she will serve, top scorer of India. Target was the captain of Indonesia. Oh, nice. Down the line, but that was wide for Santi.
Good intention though from Santi, but Coach Lilipali will challenge this.
So this will be our first challenge for this match. Ball in, ball out. An early challenge here in set number 2. Let's see if this could swing things for our matchup. Santi getting some encouragement from her teammates. We've been entertained by her prowess so far.
She had good intention in that last attack. From where we're sitting, I feel like this could be something for Coach Lilipali. Let's see if that ball expands enough to hit the line.
It was close, after all. Gotta love the music as well that we have for our tournament. This is the AVC Challenge Cup. The winner of this tournament will proceed to the Challenger Cup. That will begin on July 4 and it will stretch up until July 7. It will happen here in the Philippines. There you go, Denise.
Yep, did look like it was in, and it is a successful challenge by Coach Lilipali.
And so, the ball expanded enough to reach that line. How about that smile from your coach? Pedro Lilipali, the leader of Indonesia. Santi serves. Outside though. That challenge cooled her down for a bit. That's point number 2 for India. We're back with Surya. Rara back sets. Sabrina got a hand. Genie onto the opposite. Still no point. Good rally here. Recalculation for Indonesia. A chase, and Genie is unable to get to it.
Augustine using the blockers. Two blockers were there right in front of her, but not really having both of their arms over the net. So if it's just your forearm, there will be a lack of control in defending that ball. And Agustin is taking advantage of that.
Here's India onto the middle. Drop ball.
Just the patience from Shilpa. Last second change up, seeing the blocker as she was on her way down. Going for that soft tip.
Oh, she's made her presence in this game. Now it's a service ace for India. That was Anagha Radha with a mistake. 5-3 now. Back and forth we go. Sabrina at the service line. Shalini, cross court, a chase. No more for Indonesia. It's just 1 point each. Back and forth for our two teams in set number 2. Service inside. That was a hard set. And here's a good chance to counter. Anusri got a hand, and the ball drops.
And Indonesia here again caught standing in the defense. Wasn't the strongest of attacks coming from India.
That gives us a deadlock, 5-all in set 2. Shalini serves. Rada onto the quick. Possible counter. Shilpa. Libero was late. Let's see if that floor defense can be even more active in the next sequences for Indonesia. That's a nice smile. Good to see that from Shilpa. Now they have the advantage. Sharp serve. Sabrina will give up a free ball. Genie with a lot of time. Push to the left. Oh, Anusri using her left hand.
Too sharp of a set for Anusri. But doesn't matter. Again, going for that donut hole, seeing the defense. Blocker was there. Nobody behind there to cover that drop ball.
So now India starting to duplicate what they did in set number 1 by the 7th point, getting some momentum. Sabrina, back row hit. That was saved. Good effort by India. And that would still go through. Chance ball. Rada. Same girl.
Nice.
And it's Sabrina going cross.
Again, Agustina going for zone 1. Going for that long ball. And nobody there to defend it for the blue shirts.
The absolute go-to spiker for the Indonesian squad, delivering to trim the lead down to 1. There she is. Service inside.
Nice.
1-2. The second for this game for Genie.
They tend to forget that Genie is an attacking setter. And given the opportunity, she will go for that 1-2 play.
And will that make the lives of her attackers easier moving forward? Much like what happened in set number 1. Rada pushes to the left. Oh, a tough dig. That almost went through. Genie pushes. Chance on the other end. Slide. Good activity by India. Shilpa onto Anusri. That was a hard angle.
It's a rushed set, underhand set coming from India.
But isn't it the usual concern for middle blockers giving up the sets? Shilpa will now take a breather. 7-8. Fanny setting it in. It's Anusri for the approach. Blocked. No coverage. Good answer here by Indonesia. See the frustration by India. A chance to recover. Anusri unable to score. A push onto the back. Rara, back set, slide. Tip, saved. Chance again for Indonesia. 1-2.
That's good.
Almost worked. It's back to the left. Longest rally so far. Back row hit for India. At the net. Still read well by the white shirts. And finally, that's a point for Indonesia.
Again, the adjustment of Junaida Santi. She took off a bit too early for that attack, so that's why she changed that contact. Again, just going for the top spin, using the hands of the blockers to get that point back for Indonesia.
So now we're back with the back and forth. 9-8, whistle blown, rotation error for India.
And again, just a miscommunication happening on the side of India here. Free point for Indonesia.
It's now a 2-point advantage for the white shirts. Fanny, through and through. Genie. Oh, what a setup, Surya.
Just a single block in front of Surya.
Absolutely mistimed as well. That could have been her easiest point so far. 9 serving 10, full front row for India. It's a back row hit for Sabrina. Genie keeping it alive at the net. Still no point. Santi. Bit of a scramble forced. Ball up to the sky. A chance. 1-2. Still no drop. Anusri to counter. Coverage present. How about the activity of the libero of India? And off of the back row hit, it's a point for the blue shirts.
Floor defense, a bit startled on the side of Indonesia.
On the other end, there's the libero Ananaya for Team India, giving the good floor defense for their squad. Oh. Not sure if Putri Agustin had a back concern there in the previous sequences. Now that sailed long for Indonesia. It's 11-10. Genie serving once more. Nice receive. Rada back sets. Sabrina again. Not much power.
Nice set.
Anusri. Ball returned. Now it's at the middle. Counter with Sabrina.
Nice.
Off speed.
Again, Sabrina recognizes the floor patterns, the floor defense pattern of India. If you have 2 blockers in front, people defending at the back will cover the corners, and that middle area will be wide open for the attack.
Beautiful variety from the team captain. That gives us a deadlock. One's across the board. Genie to Anaga. Bit tight there. Santi. Wow. Indonesia not going away off of that beautiful hit. Now they have a full front line. Anusri with a hammer.
Just a lot of power coming from Anusri. Again, if you do have just one blocker, you can afford to take that risk. You see the middle blocker there for Indonesia. Too late for that attack.
12 all in set number 2. Rada had to recalculate. Santi. Oh, great effort by Ananaya. And it's all worth it. Surya got the point. There's Ananaya limping a bit. I wonder what her concern is. But there's no sign of any substitution for her. Santi dug up. Great activity by India. Shalini tried to go for zone 1 to no avail. Sabrina No more save for India. The effort was there, just not enough for Team India. Sabrina gets another point to her name. Santi, very animated serve. There's a counter from the middle. Surya well activated once more by Jeannie. Now she just served that ball sharply in. Indonesia got a hand there, and that goes through for them.
Yep. Agustin attacking low here, getting it through again the arms of the Indian blockers.
Got a serve short. Wow, what a target that was.
Is that the first ace? I believe that was the first ace of Indonesia.
In the set.
No, in the whole... Oh, they did get one. Oh, yeah.
Another service. India will now push to the left. Shalini down the line. all. Would you actually say that we haven't seen long rallies in this game? Like everything has been very quick.
Yeah, because the... Oh, what's that call? The linesman at the corner.
Yeah, but
trying to signal
play
something.
on. Shalini going cross court. And here's the counter. Back row. And the pipe works for Santi. There's a replay, avoiding the blockers, targeting zone 5. Sabrina serves it in. Jeannie tried to go for the 1-2 again, and she's 3 for 3.
Indonesia kind of expected it. It was a slower 1-2 attack, but again, just got standing in the defense. Second ball wasn't there for them.
16 all. A much closer set number 2. Sabrina dug up. Jeannie saves it. Anusri going cross. Ooh, that's mistimed by the middle blocker. Anusri again. Better activity by Indonesia. But they will give up a free ball. Anusri. Good chance to counter. Santi. Long rally. Anusri again. Couldn't score. Rada back onto the left. An off-speed hit. And that's a back row now. A back row hit that works for India.
Rada here again going long. The longer the rally, the tendency is to go one step forward every single time, so the corners would naturally get freed up.
17-16. Sabrina, low. Now we have a timeout for Indonesia. Let's see if we can hear that mantra that you mentioned to us in set number 1.
yang nggak main, ambilin minumnya, siapin minumnya, biar mereka nggak ambil ya. Ya nggak apa-apa, yuk. Sama. Kita ngasih poin sana, ya. Eman, bola rally, pukul, jangan ditipu. Kecuali kalau bolanya mepet, nggak bagus, baru ya selamatin. Oke, yuk naik lagi yuk. Yuk naik lagi yuk. Masih panjang. Yuk ya. Yuk bisa. Ayo.
Well, that was a lot of ayos for us, Denise.
Well, Indonesia here again, they just need to wake up. They had their runs. They were doing well at the start of the second set. But a lot of communication just in the middle of it.
Let's see if they can go for retribution. Down by 2. There you go. Nice response.
And that is something that you want if you coach Lily Pali, scoring right after the timeout.
The libero of India continues to limp. That's Ananaya. Now they have a different libero inside in Aswathi. There she is with the first ball. Nice one at that. And it's point number 4 for Jeannie.
And that's why it's so important for India also to have a good reception. Because you can have that for your setter. You can set up your setter just like that.
19-17. Santi approaches. Blocked. Another chance. Same player. That goes inside off the block.
Well read, well covered. That was Jeannie and Surya.
Let's see who got a hand on that. It might have been Jeannie. And there's the celebration for Team India. Trying to pull away again, much like what they did in set number 1. Up by 3 now. Sabrina, bit low. Coverage present. Rada pushes to the left. Santi. Still no drop. Anusri counters. That was inside. Lead is now 4 off of that zone 1 target for Anusri. 21 serving 17. Santi met at the net. Now it's Sabrina. It's just those two, right? More often than not. Santi and Sabrina attacking.
Yes, it may even going to them. Again, Santi is one of those players who's attacking 53, 52%. So no surprise for her.
Yeah, that's very high because at least in our leagues, 35 to 40 would be very high already in the tournaments. That hit the net or the antenna for Anusri. Indonesia not going away. It's only a 2-point deficit. Very manageable. Fanny doing the honors, sending it through. Over receive. And that's another point for Indonesia.
Namira here with the patience in that overset or over receive rather. Usually the tendency is you'd want to push it as hard as you can, but going for that soft touch by the left side again, defender of India not able to get to it.
कितने एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर थोड़ा ध्यान रखो और वो बहुत अच्छे पॉइंट की उधर इतना पीछे से मारता उसका रहने दो मार ऐसे लीड कवर नहीं करो नहीं कुछ नथिंग
I was trying to examine as to what Ayo Ayo would be in the version of India. Do you have any idea?
No idea.
I thought you were a walking encyclopedia, Denise, but I do thank you for the fun fact that you gave me about Indonesia. Good to learn things here in the AVC Challenge Cup 2021. Jeannie onto the quick. Wow, what a setup.
And you love how they still continued with that play. That first ball was too low for Jeannie. She really had to bend for that one. But the trust that she had with her middle attacker, I mean, it paid off real well. And it was a beautiful attack.
That was too easy once again for Surya. 22 to 20. Slide. Good chance to counter. Ooh, there was a net touch.
Double violation,
touch.
Yep.
Jeannie quick to apologize for it, although she has been splendid in today's outing. It's a good morning for her. 21-22. Service inside. Bit tight. Whistle blown.
Yep, an overreach.
That's against Jeannie.
Oh, check that. That was a backline violation on Jeannie. Your hand was over the net already.
So now we have a deadlock. 22 all. Jeannie for retribution. Back set. There you go. Nice response.
Again, quick adjustment by Anusri. Set was quite short. Bit too low. But not a problem for Anusri getting it through. Avoiding two blockers.
Very sharp angle there going cross. So they regain the lead 23-22. Rada, combination play. Ball almost dropped, scramble, and that goes outside. $23 all. And this is after a 25-16 set number 1. What a serve by Santi. From the middle, Surya scores.
Lucky break there on the side of India. Again, Indonesia forgetting that Jeannie is a backliner. So one blocker was taken off for that attack coming from Surya.
They have a timeout, a crucial one at that. It is 24-23.
Oke? Hei! Ya. Pindah dulu kita. Cari poin ya. Oke? Ya, receive bagus. Oke, receive bagus. Pindah. Kita serang di servis. Oke? Yuk. Bisa. Indonesia.
India will either go up 2 sets to none, or they will have an extended set number 2 alongside Indonesia. This is Sabrina off speed. Good chance to counter to the open. Oh, 24 all.
Good net defense working well for Indonesia. And the perfect timing for them to get it.
That's their captain delivering the goods, Sabrina. 24 all. Back set. That goes down for India. It's been a while since we've seen Radha score like that. Now she serves for the set. 25-24. Bit of a chase for Rada. It's a back row hit by Santi. Blocked. Now it's Sabrina's turn. Good chance on the other end. They send it to the open. Shalini almost fooled the blockers there. Counter Sabrina. Another point for Indonesia. Yeah, it seemed like the ball hit the blockers first and then the antenna. But the Indian coach did not see it that way. That's why there was a bit of a concern from them. It's 25 all. To the middle, that has been working for India.
Shilpa just again going to zones 1 and 6. The sweeper at the back for Indonesia, not able to cover those spots.
Shilpa gets ready at the net once more. 26 serving 25. Agustin got a deflection. It's a pipe hit. Read well by Indonesia. Back row on the other end. Almost dropped. Anusri will send it through. Good chance. It's Agustin again, dropping it. Still red. Back row. Bit of a scramble. Rada. Sabrina. Yes.
And Sabrina getting it through, getting it between Anusri and Shilpa. Really squeezing through that block.
And I love the celebration of Coach Pedro Lilipali. as his captain was able to score. The set is not yet done. 26 all. Some frustration for Coach Jai Narayan on the other end. Push to the left. Anusri. Back and forth we go.
Again, Anusri using the hands of Fanny, the middle blocker, who was a step too late for that net defense.
In India, getting the set point so far in the set, time and time again. Sabrina could not answer back as of yet. Anusri, back row hit. Counter from the left. Nice block. Coverage present. Santi down the line.
That's a check.
Are we gonna reach the magic number 30 for set number 2? It's just game number 1 for our quadruple header today. Fanny, service outside. That's gotta hurt. (28-27). Now Jeannie will be serving. The captain of India will send it through. Not the best of receives. Santi approaches and scores again. There you go. Magic number 30, Denise.
Well, this is how we started. Again, a tit-for-tat battle here in the second set. And nobody wanting to give up the second.
India actually had something like this in their previous game versus Australia. They will respond again. Off the block for Anusri from the right pin. Bouncing off highly from that blocker of Indonesia. 29-28. Santi again. What a set for us.
You know, it's funny because I was just thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder what these players are thinking. Because I played, and when you get to an extended set, you're like, you just want it to be over and done with.
Yeah. Oh, that's the mentality for sure of India. But it's getting these set points, but can they actually finish it? It's Surya again from the middle.
Well, let's see if they can set something up from this Surya serve.
30-29. Surya. Sharp serve. Rara. Santi. She's been the answer for Indonesia.
Yeah, just mainly going to Santi or Agustin, wherever they are. A lot of activation coming from the pipe, from the wings.
Santi was born August 2007, which means she's not yet 17 years
Correct.
old. She's that young and that good. 30 all. Santi again. Almost scored an easy one. And finally, it's set point for Indonesia. How about the youngsters? Able to deliver, staying strong against India. Again, Indonesia is the second youngest team that we have in this tournament. There's the drop. Timeout, India.
बता दिया उसको, पहले भी बता दिया. एक ही मार रहा है वही, दूसरा है ही नहीं मारने वाला.
Now India's backs are against the wall because they've been having the advantage for the whole set up until this moment. 31 serving 30. Rara Tegariani serving that ball in. And this is a good chance for the white shirts. Can they finish it off? The answer is yes. Wow, what a set to finish for Indonesia. We have an extended match here inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. These two teams looking to go out of this tournament with a bang. A 32-30 set to victory for the youngsters of Indonesia. That was Santi. Oh, she was big time in terms of those last points for Indonesia when they desperately wanted those points. They went to her wherever she may be. And she was able to deliver, the 16-year-old of the white shirts. Coach Ronnie and I broke this down the other day that fielding in young squads, it's such a necessity nowadays for volleyball, because if you would look at this tournament, there is progression. The winner of this one will go on to the Challenger Cup, and then the winner of that one will eventually move on to the VNL. And of course, you also have the Olympics in the picture.
Yeah, and it's not only that, it's really elevating the level of volleyball from wherever these players are. Remember, if you join a competition where there is always a higher level of skill, you bring that back home. And we also talk about this with our own national team, why it's so important for us to constantly field in players, constantly send them to international events, because you also see our professional league doing better after that.
Oh, the Philippines per se, it's a combination of professionals and collegiate players. I can only wonder, especially for those collegiate players, once they enter the pros, how good they're going to be already going up against our longtime professionals. I'm sure the same would be argued for these Indonesians. On the other end for India, if you think about it, 24 years.
Still pretty young.
Yeah, still pretty
a
young.
team.
The oldest player is 29, not even 30. On the other end for Indonesia, their oldest is at 22 years old. Here in the Philippines, that would be the age of a college student.
Exactly.
And their youngest is at 16. Where were you at 16? High school, right?
Yeah, about to enter college.
About to enter
About
college.
to enter college.
And imagine the experience that they're building at that age, in this level. And let's see if the body languages would be different in set number 3 after that turnaround. But there you go. It's Surya scoring again from the middle.
And Surya needs to set the tone early for her team here in the third set.
That connection between Surya and Jeannie has been wonderful for India. Would you actually say that it's because of the presence and the skill of Jeannie as a setter? Or is it just the aggression of the middle blockers?
I would say it's the communication between the two because, as a setter, you also tell the spiker if she would go for a different set, and the attacker could always say no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, could always ask for a different one. So it's really the communication and how they maximize each other while they're on the floor.
Good chemistry by the India squad. Now, there was a service ace by Santi that puts India to 2 points in this set. A miss receive by the libero. Santi from the back. Bit of a chase for Jeannie. It's a push. Shalini unable to score. Counter. Agustin, whistle blown.
Net touch. That is on Anaga.
Let's see the replay. There you go. Easy call there by our second referee. It happened right in front of him. 2-all. Another deadlock. Salini block. Wow, how about that from Sabrina? Oh, she felt it. Gotta love the expression afterwards. And again, she's not the tallest of spikers. And as you guys always say, it's all about timing. Jeannie backsets for retribution. How about the answer from Anaga?
And you like that set to Anaga. Again, it was a quicker set. First tempo would always be better if you're a taller attacker. To make the blockers really work for it. But again, they were too late in that last attack of Anaga.
Rada setting that ball outside. 3-all now. Back set onto Sabrina. What a set that was.
And Agustin just getting it through 2 blockers. That gap was just too wide for her. And Agustin definitely taking advantage.
It's her and Santi. No doubt about it. As the top scorers for Indonesia. Jeannie onto the middle. Good block by Fanny. Now it's Anaga who will prevail. That's Radha Anaga. She was quite silent in set number 2. Then again, she is their second leading scorer in this tournament. Jeannie,
Nice.
Beautiful read.
Again, it's those small change-ups. That is actually a typical drop that a setter would do. Because if you're the blocker and you're trying to defend an attacking setter, you would always still try to go and defend the front part of her attack.
That's what, 5 points now for Genie in this game, but Agustin was able to give us an answer. Or was it outside? It was in.
Was in, yep.
Zone 1 was the target by Pitra Agustin. Or Putri Agustin, my bad. 5-all. Genie back sets. Anaga, he's feeling it. Counter with Santi. Blocked. Coverage by Sabrina. There's the push on to the other end. Recalculation for India. Kept alive by Indonesia. They go to their captain. Oh, that was an overdig and an easy ball for Santi. It's too easy for the very athletic spiker of Indonesia. 6-5 now. It's been very tight so far, much like what happened in set 2. How about the answer from Shalini?
Shalini going for that angle. Again, going left. Lack of control again from the blockers, as there was too big of a gap between the blockers and the net.
Service error now, although we haven't seen a lot of those in this match. Now Fanny will be serving for Indonesia. 7-6 in set number 3. Oh yeah, that was an over-receive, but it was such a nice return by India.
And Genie was able to go head-to-head with the attackers of Indonesia, with Lara there.
Let's see her timing. Back and forth, ball went. Slide. Lara couldn't score, and a miscue. Santi unable to get to it.
Well, Santi thinking that Riscamara was going to get it. But again, Santi, Riscamara was a setter, so Santi should have gotten it.
8-7. India with the advantage. Rara causing the scramble. No more save there for Anaga. There's the activation onto the middle blocker of Indonesia, Rara Tegariani. The winner of this matchup will take on the winner of Hong Kong versus Iran, our second game for today. Down the line target. It's Anusri Kambrath Poyilil. Combination play, 3 blockers present for India. Santi dug up, Genie onto the middle. No point for Surya. Back row hit, Agustin kept alive. Onto the left now. Strong hit, no point for Anusri. Sabrina, not much power there. Genie, pipe. The rally continues. Agustin, how about the effort, the activity on the floor by our teams? One of our longest rallies so far. Anusri will score.
Great change up by Anusri. How's what? 7 exchanges with everybody trying to hit the ball as hard as they can. Anusri finally going for that soft tip, seeing that opening.
10-8 now in set number 3. Genie will be serving. The captain sending it in. Putri Agustin putting it up. And it's Santi going outside there. Tried to go down the line. We have a timeout for Team Indonesia.
Iya, jauh ya. Hei. dengerin ya. Jangan gampang mati dan jangan gampang menyerah. Yuk, bisa. Set kedua lo bisa. Ya, yuk ya. Naik lagi, ya. Resipnya naik lagi, oke? Ya. Boleh ya? Yang pede. Yuk. Bisa yuk. Ayo.
Indonesia Jaya!
It is 11-8, but then again, no lead has been safe in this match. We saw Indonesia erase a 5-point deficit in set number 2. India also had a comeback in set number 1 to win it. So that has been the theme of the game so far. Comebacks for our squads. That's a good block by India. Back row hit, Agustin. No more save for India. Let's see that replay. Straight onto the back. Courtesy of Putri Agustin. Jeannie now goes
Nice.
to the middle. That was inside.
A risky angle coming from Surya, especially since she was cramped up by the opposite side, still going right. But good angle for her because the battle wasn't quick enough.
That went straight to the line for Surya. Now they have a 3-point advantage. A wet spot on the floor. What position did you play back then?
Setter.
Setter. Oh. And that allows me to make you evaluate our setter so far in this game. Well, Jeannie has been impressive.
Oh, yeah.
But what makes her that good?
She creates the offensive balance. Again, we've mainly been seeing players like Shipal a while ago, Surya, but she was also giving opportunities for Anagha and everybody else, also attacking on her own. But she does have some trouble when she's from the back line and there is an overset. There is this tendency for her to just let the ball go.
Okay, how about Rara on the other end for Indonesia?
Rara on the other side, I think she's doing pretty well as well. Very consistent from the service line. We are expecting it that she would go mainly to Agustin and Santi, but that's because they're their percentage spikers. But so far, just giving them the right kind of balls. Good height, good speed, and everything else.
That's why we have a close game. Now it's 13-10 as India was able to score. Let's see the replay. Shalini getting the point. We have two Raras, by the way, for Indonesia. Do not be confused. One is the setter,
It's Kamara.
and then the other Rara is a middle blocker, Tegariani. Here's their setter. Onto Agustin. What a block.
And I believe that was care of Aswani.
Was that the best block that we've seen so far?
I believe so.
Here's another angle. Yeah, that's an off-the-bench player, Aswani. You're correct. Agustin,
another
block,
one.
But it went outside for Anaga.
But this is something that India still has to welcome with open arms. I mean, they are getting the positions of their hands right. So they are covering the path of that ball properly. It's just the angles of their hands that they need to work on.
Let's see if they can go for retribution. Up by 3. Oh, that's a block by Agustin.
Agustin with a single block.
Now her arms were positioned perfectly.
Coach Lily Palido on the sideline still asking for a push.
Service inside for Sabrina. Oh, how about that player off the bench, Aswani, delivering the goods. That raises the advantage back to 3 points for India. Short serve. Rara back sets. Sabrina, wow.
Again, Sabrina getting it through 2 blockers. Squeezing her way through.
As a setter, do you also how do I put this? You also try to notice every time how the fatigue is of your spikers.
Not necessarily, but obviously if it's like a long rally and it's their third time giving it to like an outside hitter and there's somebody at the opposite side, it's not only the fatigue factor that you should consider, but at the same time what's happening on the other side of the net. If you're going mainly to just one attacker all the time, then the blockers will automatically be there as well.
Everything just happening at the same time as Santi goes down the line. Oh, she never seems to be tired for Indonesia. And her athleticism remains the same. More importantly, the lead is down to 2. Jeannie 1-2 again. That's point number 6 for her. Were you an attacking setter as well?
I was, yes. I had to be.
Well, you're tall as well.
I am quite tall for a setter.
So you would understand what Jeannie is doing.
But I don't think I've ever gotten 6 points right in the third
it's
set.
a lot already.
It's a lot.
Slight attack for Indonesia.
Because usually you see setters getting those points from the service line, taking advantage of the fact that, you know, you have blockers in front,
Yeah.
and you can target really people on the other side.
Oh, nice setup once again to Surya. There's the chemistry that you described for us for those 2 players.
And it's so obvious for Jeannie how well she knows her middle blockers, whether it be Shipal, Surya, or even off-the-bench player Azwani earlier. They were connecting very well.
Now it's 18-15. I've been bringing up the top scorers in this tournament as Shanti scores for Indonesia. So we go back to India. The top 2 scorers are wing spikers in Anusri and Radha. But Surya is right behind, just a point away. And isn't that quite unusual for a middle blocker to score that high compared to their wing spikers?
Not necessarily, because everybody that is outside, because for each team there are what we call percentage spikers, and it's definitely what your team is more comfortable with. It's definitely a conversation between the setter and the attackers. Coach Lilipali here asking for a challenge. Again, it seemed like it hit the line. So a ball in and out challenge for Coach Lilipali.
That has been the challenges so far in this game. Ball in, ball out. We are in set number 3. Hearing the Pink Panther theme inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. How about that for our music in this tournament? It really brings out the curiosity of all of our viewers. So it's usually this. As now we take a look at the replay that was outside. But still a nice smile from Coach Lilipali. He's very animated, by the way.
He is. There are times that he would kind of dance on the sideline using his arms, just his arms.
I'd like to see that later on. And that's off of Sabrina, straight to the antenna. 2016. But what was the tally in set 2? 21-16, right?
21-16 in favor of India.
And then we saw the comeback by Indonesia. Now it's 20-17. Service error by Anusri. Anusri had a strong start in this game, but she's been quiet lately. Now we have Radha Tegariani doing the honors. Jeannie on to the quick. Surya scores again.
Definitely something that India needs to take advantage of before Surya gets back to the service line. She's been quiet too. But the height disparity evidently there for Surya and the Indonesian blockers.
Service inside for Surya. They're up by 4. Back row hit. Santi. She was the hero in set 2 for Indonesia. There's the percentage spiker on the other end for the white shirts. Bella Agustina. Sabrina sending it in. Cross court hit. Dug up by Sabrina. Back row for Santi. Good chance to counter. Quick again. Coverage present. Now it's Shalini going cross court. Agustin sending it to the right. Sabrina will push. Chance ball for India. Onto the opposite. Down the line for Anaga.
Great read by Jeannie. Again, everybody was on the right side, middle on the right side, talking about the Indonesian blockers. She finally went to the opposite side, and blockers were late for that.
Wide open down the line for Anaga. Now we have a timeout.
Sambil lihat posisi ya. Posisi temannya di mana? Kalau posisi temannya di belakang, hati-hati ngumpannya ya. Yuk, bisa lagi. Tadi set kedua posisinya seperti ini. Yuk, bisa yuk, naik ya. Naik dulu receive. Pukul poin. Ya, pindah ya. Oke? Ya.
Indonesia. Nggak bisa ya, Kak.
22-18 is the tally in set number 3. This is our first game in our classification matches. This is the battle for seeds 5 and 6 in the classification. The winner of this matchup will take on the winner between Hong Kong and Iran later on in our second game. In the semis, it will be Vietnam versus Australia, and then the Philippines will take on Kazakhstan for our main event today. And that's point number 7 for Jeannie. And by the way, when we say point number 7, it's off of these 1-2 plays.
Yeah, not even the service aces, right?
Yeah. And she might have gotten some blocks as well. 23-18, Agustin got a hand, no more chase. Putri Agustin being the answer for Indonesia. They're going to need a lot more of those. Down by 4. Putri Agustin sending it in, chased by Jeannie. And here's the counter for Indonesia. Santi elevates, long.
Yeah, Santi wanted to go over the blockers, but not enough clip on that last attack.
5 set points now for India. This is a big cushion as compared to the set points that they had in set number 2. Rada back sets onto Sabrina. Nice hit. The back row hit hasn't been a problem all day long for Sabrina, usually from the right. Jeannie, quick, yes! That's it for set number 3. Jeannie's connection to her middle blockers has been no less than amazing in this matchup. India is up 2-1, and they win, or they just won set number 3, 25-20. Back inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, the home of the national athletes of the Philippines for India versus Indonesia. And so we started with that usual back and forth between these two teams in set number 3, but then there was a pull away by India and they took care of their advantage by the end of the set.
You know, the consistent thing about India is all throughout the 3 sets, they have been attacking more. So it just boils down to how they are able to defend the net. They did get those 3 blocks again in set number 3. They were able to limit their errors as well to just 3. That is their lowest error count in all 3 sets. So that was basically what helped them win this more convincingly against Indonesia, 25-20, as compared to just the first 2 sets.
We've seen a relatively clean game in terms of errors. If you would total everything, let's do the math quickly.
For who?
For both.
Okay, so for Indonesia, it's 14, and for India, that is at 13.
All right, for 3 sets already.
For 3 sets.
Fairly clean for our 2 squads, looking for that classification battle for that 5th ranking in this tournament, which is very important for our FIVB rankings. Well, these 2 did have some drop-offs after some previous losses. India is now 62nd and Indonesia is at 59th.
59th, yeah. They entered at 55th spot.
That's -4, and then again, we have to remember that this is a young team for Indonesia, and they reached the finals last year, losing in 5 sets to Vietnam, which has been a trend, by the way, in the finals for the Challenge Cup. Even in the inaugural season, Hong Kong won in 5 sets. But in this tournament, we haven't seen a 5-setter so far. I'm not saying anything.
Indonesia lost to Vietnam yesterday in 4.
In 4.
Yeah.
We've seen close 4 sets though, including India versus Australia. Their 4th set reached 29 points. Our 2nd set today reached 32 points, by the way. It's been a very entertaining morning.
Is it the longest set we've had all tournament?
Oh, we gotta check that. I think we do have the list here.
It might be.
Yes, Denise. The longest set belongs to us. Good morning, everybody. Again, we have 3 matches after this one. It's Hong Kong versus Iran, Vietnam versus Australia, and Philippines versus Kazakhstan. Do join us if you can inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. It's usually jam-packed by the main game. Beautiful to see. But now we have India versus Indonesia. Sabrina scores. First point in set number 4 for Indonesia. That's their team captain, Anaga. Oh, she was under.
Yeah, Naga mistiming that attack.
Here's the setter, Rara Rizkamara for Indonesia. Ooh, service error. Again, we haven't seen much of those in this outing. Two 1 1-2 on the board. Anusri setting it in. Combination play. The drop didn't work. Counter Anusri. Straight to the back on the other end. Push to Sabrina. That's tight. Now it's at the side of Indonesia.
Yeah, 4
Whistle
touch.
blown.
There was no touch at the net for Surya. So 4 touches called on Indonesia.
2-2 now. Coach Jelipali just had to confirm it with our second referee. Anusri, service in. Sabrina again off of that combination. Still no point. Surya to the right. That's kept alive by Indonesia. Back row for Agustin. That's long.
Again, clip is lacking for Agustin. Good idea to go long. Just not the right execution.
3-2. Much like how we started sets 2 and 3. Sabrina, cross. Nice dig. Counter again. That goes down for Santi.
That defense of India just not able to do anything about that because Santi going over 2 blockers.
Straight on to the back. Santi. Shalini. There you go, through and through. Anchors away 4-3 in set number 4. Here's Indonesia to Agustin. That was a hard angle, at least to my view, but still she was able to score.
Got it through Azwani. Oh, check that. That was between the 2 blockers, not just Azwani.
4-all. Shalini approaches. She got a hand. And here's the counter. Back row hit. Sent back by the net defense of India. Swani continues to be big time off the bench for India in this game. But that was Shalini. Got her hand on the ball. Agustin for retribution. Yes.
Agustin seeing the defender here, waiting for that down the line hit.
Aswani. That met the line.
Really smart hit coming from Aswani.
It's now 6 serving 5. Here's Shalini. Drop. Ooh, that's outside for Agustin. 7-5 now is the tally of that mistake by Agustin. Back with Shalini. Saravanan with a service going inside. Agustin off the block.
That is her 13th point of the match. Talking about Agustin. Putri Agustin.
That's a good sign for Indonesia because in their previous outing, only 2 players scored double figures for them. In Sabrina and Santi. Totaling 45. There's Santi.
Santi now with 17. Highest pointer so far for Indonesia is opposite hitter Sabrina Agustina.
Total of 19 points for her. On the other end, we have Anusri with 17
Nice.
as Aswani scores.
It's a slide quick for Azwani. And blockers weren't there. That cross-court hit was wide open for Azwani.
She's the one being activated at the middle. That has been a theme for Jeannie in this game.
It's out.
Mistake by Aswani. The other leading scorer for India, by the way, is Surya. Tied with Anusri with 17 points. Did mention she is a percentage spiker as a middle blocker for India. Another service error. Now it's racking up in set number 4. And this is after we argued that we've seen a relatively clean match. (9-8). Genie, service through. Rara onto the open. Tough dig. That sails inside for Shalini. And here's the counter. Santi again. Straight to Shalini. Genie to Anusri. Yes! It's now 10-8. Off of that point by Anusri, who now leads all scores for India. After all, she is the absolute leading scorer in this tournament for the blue shirts. Sabrina. Counter, Anusri. Blocked. We saw the Raras working together to form the wall there for Indonesia. It was Rara Rizkamara who got the block. Anaga. Sharp angle. Dug up. Santi again. Great effort by India. Well, this is a good chance for Indonesia. They go to the slide.
Nice.
Blocked by Anaga.
Well read by Anaga. She already saw Rara making her way to the opposite side, trying to go for that slide. And Anaga just there to cover it.
One blocker, no problem for Anaga. 11-9. India trying to end this match in 4 sets. Santi got a hand. There's the ball touch. An easy call for our referees. Sharp serve.
It's good.
Shalini. Rara back sets. Sabrina again. Blocked. How about the net defense of India?
Well, that has been the trend for India so far. Whenever they can really establish their net defense, that's when they get the set. Again, 3 blocks in the first, 3 in the third.
(12-10). Pipe. Ooh, what a hit by Santi. Santi's nearing 20 points scored once again after having 24. The top score against Vietnam for Indonesia. She was 3 points ahead of Sabrina. Shalini. Dug up by Santi. Here's Sabrina. Over the blockers. Good chance on the other end. Shalini again. Whistle blown.
Yep. Catch and throw violation.
Jeannie's trying to plead her case. Now she lets it go. 12 all in set number 4. For retribution. Not yet. Battle at the net. Oh, that doesn't go through for India. Now Indonesia has the advantage, 13-12. They would like to send us to our first 5-set match in the tournament. Aswani dug up, back row hit. And here's the counter. Genie pushes to the left. Shalini
Not
quite
over.
low.
Yeah, again, too sharp of a set for... That was Shalini.
Some errors made by India quite lately. Let's see if this timeout can calm them down.
इजी बॉल दिया वो
चलो तो उसका कोई
रेडी रेडी कुछ नहीं उसके बाद आप लोग चलो माला ही नहीं
साइड चेंज नहीं करोगे तो वो लोग पॉइंट लेगा ही लेगा और क्या
2 points रेडी करेंगे
डर के नहीं मारो, खुल के मारो।
एक फिनिश करो हमारा सा रिसीव है चोरी चेंज है रेडी अश्विनी चोरी चेंज है आने का तीर टमा रेडी
It is 14-12 in favor of the team that's down 2-1 in this game. So far, we've had the longest set in our tournament, reaching 32 points in set 2 of this matchup. Let's see.
Ooh, beautiful block coming from Agustin.
How about this momentum for Indonesia? They haven't led like this since set number 1, right?
When they got, I believe, a 5-0 run early on in that first set.
But they still lost that set. As Aswani gets a check.
There's a check there at the net.
Oh, we have two linesmen with different signages there. So one said there's a check ball, the other said just outside. First referee will award it 2. We're still waiting. India will get the point. Check ball. And we have a challenge.
Oh, they're not going to challenge. They're going to cancel the challenge.
Okay.
Oh, they're going to push through. What's happening?
Oh, it's
They're going to change it.
out.
Yep, they're going to change it.
Well, the initial argument that the referees made was for a touch or not. So now it's in or out.
Although, even if it does go out, the first referee already called the check. So...
Right. Yeah, their last touch.
Could be just a tactic.
Maybe. Because we are at the second half of the fourth set. One of our referees is clearing it out with Coach Lilipali. Yeah, the referee might be saying your point right now to Coach Lilipali. But it's good that you also brought up the fact that this could be playing out an effect of a different way. This might swing the momentum of the game. It might cool some players down. But yes, the point will go to India.
Yes, because our first referee already talked it out with our linesman, and there is a check. I believe that check was at the net. So either way, point goes back to India.
13 serving 15. Received by Santi. Dada onto the open. Good chance on the other end. Back row hit for Anusri. Tried to drop it, but it was short.
Again, good idea coming from Anusri, the libero of India. Hawa was waiting for that hard hit. Anusri trying to go for that soft tip, but not enough power to get it across.
16-13. Shalini. Oh, great effort by the libero, just not enough for Indonesia. (14-16). Just saw Hawa, the libero of Indonesia. That was a tough save. Agustin, blocked.
No coverage on the side of Indonesia. And don't look now, India just 1 point away from tying things up.
15-16. That defense has been key for India all game long. Well, that has been their calling card in this tournament. Chase for Rara. It's Agustin going cross. Good chance to counter. Anusri, one blocker, no problem. Momentum swinging back Team India. Now they just gave us a deadlock at 16. We have a timeout for Coach Lilipali.
Gak apa-apa ya. Posisi orang belakang jangan maju ke depan. Pada saat bola touchball, nggak ada yang ngambil. Hanya orang yang samping-samping aja yang mesti ke depan ya. Yuk, Santi, kalau bolanya servis ke atas, kamu cop. Tapi kalau di bawah, ya passing bawah ya. Soalnya bagus dicop. Bagus dicop. Yuk, saling bantu ya. Jangan menyerah, ayo ya. Ayo.
Ada temannya
16 all in set number 4. This Tuesday morning inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. This is the first classification match for this tournament. Sabrina met at the net. Good recovery for India. They send it to the back row. And the scramble is forced.
Coach Lilipali not liking that one. You know, off that timeout, he was mainly talking to Junaida Santi.
Point for Shalini.
Good serve.
17-16. Slide. Nice block again. That still goes through. The rally continues. Anusri approaches. And they're still not done. Sabrina. Cross court. Dug up by Shalini, who will now attack. Oh, speed. Wow, what a read.
You know, they've really been targeting zone 6 and that middle part of the court because Junaida Santi is the one defending it, and she was always an option at the pipe. So you look at her really adjusting, making 2 steps back, getting ready for an attack, and that's the reason why that has been open for India.
Now we have a substitution. Let's get this checking back in. She did make a brief appearance earlier in this match. Nice receive. Sabrina. This could be all her from now on.
Agustina again was our leading scorer. I believe she has 22. She had 21 in their last game against Vietnam.
That was actually her best scoring output after her performance versus Singapore with 15 points. Miscue there. Chance ball for India. Genie!
Nice.
That's what, number 8?
No, that... Well, I don't know. She has 11 points at the very least right now.
But 8 off of 1-2s.
Looks like it. But you know what I love about that is even before she went for that 1-2 attack, she was actually talking to the first referee asking for a double touch from the other side happening on the Indonesia side. But just the focus, you know, getting back to it right away.
She is the 3rd leading scorer of India after all. Ball up, battle at the net. Still hasn't dropped. Indonesia with a chance. They push to the left. Santi is back.
Yep.
Ball sailing long.
Santi taking off too early for that attack.
20 serving 17. The spark plug off the bench. Aswani will now send that ball safely inside. Santi for retribution. Here's a replay. Santi got a bit of a breather. Now she's good to go. Only a 2-point deficit. Short serve. Genie saving it. Back onto her middle blocker.
A net touch though. Yep. Coach Lilipali will challenge that. Seemed like a net touch on the side of India.
This would be big, because India is closing in to getting a victory for a chance to get that rank 5 in this tournament. Again, in their version of their Final Four, India and Indonesia will take on the winner, or the winner of India versus Indonesia will take on the winner of Hong Kong versus Iran. It's winner versus winner, loser versus loser. Later on at 1 p.m., by the way, we will have another game in the Ninoy Aquino Stadium just next door. That's to determine ranks 9 and 10 for our tournament. But the semifinals will begin at 4 p.m. Vietnam versus Australia and Philippines versus Kazakhstan here inside Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Our defending champion is Vietnam, so they still have their hopes alive to retaining that gold. Net touch or not? Yes.
No, it was a clear net touch.
Big challenge right there for Indonesia. There's a smile once again from Coach Pedro Lilipali. On the other end, it's Coach Jai Narain leading the way for India. 19-20, not the best of receives. Anusri attacks. Rada had to chase that one. Santi through. Free ball on the other end. That was sent back. Anusri down the line.
You know, the concern for Indonesia here is they do have 2 blockers in front of Anusri, but the floor defender is right behind the blockers, and the cardinal rule whenever you're defending the floor is you go where there's the gap. So if it's between the antenna and the blockers, you go down the line. If the gap between the antenna and the blockers is well covered, then you can kind of go towards your left.
21-19, Santi again. A chase. No more for India, 21-20. Indonesia going for the deadlock. You have a full front row. Rara Kamara sending it through. Genie back sets. Nice setup.
And no blocker the opposite side. It's an easy down the line hit.
Losing, making it look like target practice. 22 serving 20. Santi again. Ooh, that hit the head coach of India off of their libero. But Coach Jai Narain seems to be okay.
Everybody in the volleyball world is used to getting hit in the face.
Yeah.
That I can say for sure.
It was close between the libero and the coach, you know. Straight to the face. As now, it's a service ace for Indonesia. How about that response for the white shirts? We have a deadlock.
कोई बात नहीं जिसका भी बने डरना नहीं है
इजी इजी कर रहा है तुम लोग
तुम्हारा सेट ऊपर है तुम्हें डरना नहीं है डर के खेलेंगे तो खेलेंगे तुम्हें डर के नहीं खेलना है वो देखो वो डर के नहीं खेलते तुम्हें नहीं खेलना है और ऐसे टाइम पर डर जाओगे फिर मार
It is a virtual race to 3 for India and Indonesia in set number 4. Santi will be serving. Indonesia is trying to send us to our first 5-set match in this tournament. India has a different idea though, and that's a point for Anaga.
Naga again just capitalizing on that huge gap between 2 blockers. No coverage from the side of Indonesia.
Advantage once again for India, 23-22. No point for Sabrina. And here's the counter. Jeannie back set. Same attacker. Same result.
Good adjustment too. Set was quite low. But just a quicker takeoff there to complete the task.
It's now 2 match points for India. Timeout Indonesia.
Hey. Oke. Receive bagus ya. Serang harus poin. Ya. Asal naik aja bolanya. Baru tim mikirnya kita bertahan. Oke ya? Yuk bisa yuk. Bisa. Yuk. Bisa. Bisa.
In set number 2 of this match, the youngsters of Indonesia fought through adversity with multiple set points for India. Now they're back at it, facing 2 match points. Can they deliver? Service for Surya. Back row hit. That's saved by India. And here's to win it. That was outside. Just wide for Anaga.
They're gonna challenge that. Talking about India.
And this could be the anticlimactic way for you to win the match through a challenge. Although Anaga has been that efficient option from the right in the last couple of sequences. There's a good smile from Coach Jai Narayan after getting hit in the face just a while ago.
Again, we're all used to it.
Yeah.
Comes with the territory.
So we're back to what we have been used to as well in terms of the challenge music. Oh, just missed it.
Good. I would say it is a good challenge. They had to challenge that because it was really close.
Okay, so we're not yet done. 24-23. Indonesia will look to extend this set number 4, much like what they did in set number 2. Service for Rara. That goes inside. A lot of time for Jeannie. They go to the left. Outside again. 24 all.
Miss hit by... That was Shalini. Making contact under the ball. And again, no clip, no spin in that attack.
24 all. Rara. Service inside. Jeannie onto the quick. Nice response by Aswani.
Again, Aswani has been a game changer for India. She has contributed a lot of points, not just with her offense, but with her defense too. But that time, again, a quick attack. Beautiful attack coming from Aswani.
Match point once more for India. Service inside. Rara. That's a back row hit for Santi.
That's good.
Oh, miscue. Extension once again.
And that is wow. Coach Jai Narayan furious at the sidelines. 3 attackers in front. Nobody getting it.
We shall proceed. 25 all. Aswani against 3 blockers. That goes through and back onto India. Jeannie 1-2 for the 9th time in this game. That could be poetic if she would be the one to end it all. 26-25. Shalini will be serving for the match. There's their captain, Jeannie. The setter has been splendid. Over receive, battle at the net, and that's it. Aswani ends it 27-25.
And I was just talking about it. Aswani giving them the numbers both offensively and defensively. She has been also the go-to middle attacker and blocker for India ever since her insertion back in the 3rd set. And that will help India close things out 27-25 here in the 4th.
There you have it. Congratulations to Team India. They will move on to the battle for rank number 5 in this tournament. They will take on the winner between Hong Kong and Iran. Indonesia will wait for the loser of our next matchup. Big time performance, not only for India but Indonesia as well, as young as they have come in the Philippines at 19 years average age for Indonesia. They have surely showed out against the average age of 24 for India in this game. So, we featured the longest set of the tournament, 32-30 in set number 2. And then we had another extension, 27-25 in set number 4. Still no 5-setters in the AVC Challenge Cup, but we would gladly take the entertainment that we have from these two countries.
Well, I was expecting this to extend to the 5th, especially with the way Indonesia was also trying to keep themselves alive. I mean, we've seen it back in the second, 32. What was that? 32-30.
32-30.
So, and again, a lot of fight from these young Indonesian players. So kudos to them, and let's see in the coming years what kind of roster we'll be able to see from them.
Some volleyball programs, or actually all volleyball programs, are built to extend up until a decade nowadays in terms of its core of players. And now let's talk about the setter who did it all for India. She is the third leading scorer at that. Jeannie had 9 attack points off of those 1-2s. As a former setter yourself, I'd like to get your final evaluations of Jeannie.
Well, she was just impeccable. Again, the confidence in going for those 1-2 attacks, knowing exactly when to set the ball, when to create that offensive balance throughout her attackers, and when to just create the opportunity for herself. And I say this is a very commendable number because usually setters, you see them attacking and racking up those points from the service line and not getting 8-9 attacks on a 1-2 setup. She was also very consistent in trying to help out in terms of the blocking, and again, just activating the middle, whether it be Surya or Shipal or the off-the-bench player Azwani. So everybody just working well and looking good because of their setter.
Well, that's our team captain for India, able to deliver the goods for this victory. Again, the journey is not yet done for these two countries as they take on Hong Kong and Iran respectively tomorrow for our last day. Denise, we have our final numbers for this game.
Well, there you can see just dominating in the offense is India. 74 attack points compared to 61. Big number here as well is their net defense with 10 blocks. And you know, something that they could clean up in their next game would be their errors. They did get 23 unforced errors throughout the 4 sets. If you're going to break that down, that's still pretty much about 6 per set. So definitely something they can avoid. But again, good game for India in this match against Indonesia.
There you have it, our first game in your quadruple header for our lovely Tuesday inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Now we turn you over to Ayana Perlas.
Thank you so much, Migs and Denise. And yes, joining me now is the team captain of Team India. We have Captain Jeannie. Namaste, Jeannie. Mira nam ayana hai. Badhai ho. Or congratulations. Of course, Jeannie, there were some miscommunications in today's game or galatfemi. But what was your focus as the team captain, Kindra, to help you win today?
Today the team Indonesia played well, good game, but we focus on our defense, service and reception, so we get back good result.
Now your team still did very good in this AVC, Tomne Bohot at Shakya, but what is the next goal or luksya of Team India?
Today we have match. We want to win that match also. Thank you.
Danyawa, thank you so much, Ginny. Once again, our team captain of Team India, Ginny. Back to you, Mix and Denise.
Thank you, Ayana. Congratulations to team captain Jeannie and the rest of India. So they move on to the classification match for the 5th and 6th spots in this tournament. Indonesia will go down to 7 and 8, and again they will await Hong Kong and Iran.
So again, still a pretty good run for India. I mean, the way that they fought throughout the competition. Let's see what kind of spot they will take, either it be the 5th or the 6th in this AVC Challenge Cup.
That's a good reminder. This is their bounce back game after all, after losing in their last 2 outings. For Indonesia, they were in the finals game last year, but now they're going to have to fight for good spots, at least that number 7 in our tournament. Thank you for joining us. For Denise Tan and Ayana Perlas, my name is Mix Gomez, and we have a lot more for our next games. Hong Kong versus Iran, Vietnam versus Australia, and Philippines versus Kazakhstan.
Ladies and gentlemen, now entering the order is Hong Kong Giants.